Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. As you can see, it's a lovely foggy Saturday morning here in Scotland, and what we're doing today is we're taking a slightly different approach to training copper. So what we're going to be doing is round pen training, and I'm going to be explaining that a little bit later. But first I have to set up the round pen, and then me and Echo are going to bring the sheep across to the big paddock, because that's where we're going to set up the round pen. Anyway, let's get to work. Okay, here we have a very rudimentary round pen. Generally I don't round pen train my dogs, or I haven't trained any of the dogs I have currently with round pens. I normally go down a different route, but yeah, this is basically a round pen. Normally people who use round pens a lot would have them made properly. This is just an old piece of fencing, and the stabs there are just tree stabs that I've hammered in to hold the net. But it's very rudimentary, but it should work for what we're doing today. And even the net on here isn't sheep wire, it's pig net. But yeah, this is basically a very simple version of a round pen, which we're going to be using with copper today. Before we do that, we have to get the sheep into the pen, which we're certainly not going to do with copper. So that's why we've got Echo with us right now. So we're going to get these sheep into the pen, then we're going to leave them in the pen, and we're going to come back with copper after that. Echo, come by. Come by. Steady. Steady. Come on. Hit. That'll. Leave them. Lie down. So I wasn't rolling the camera on that last bit of that, but nonetheless, the sheep are in the pen. We'll take Echo home and we'll go get copper. So I am back here with copper now, so let's talk a little bit about what is round pen training and what's it used for. So a lot of sheepdog trainers will use round pen training as standard. It's something I tend to keep away from. It's something that can be used to push commands onto puppies at a younger age. It's basically a training tool which can be used to push on a puppy quite quickly, really. Put in directional commands onto fairly young puppies. I tend to like to train my dogs in a more natural and a slower way. Both ways have their merits. Both ways are absolutely fine. It's really just down to preference, and I don't mind a slower sort of train rate if I get a better dog out of it in the end. Basically, the reason we're using it with copper is a bit different. Copper is so fast, confident, headstrong. She just wants to rush in all the time, and she just wants to go. And that's really the sort of issue that we've got with our training right now, is I would really like to have her working with the other dogs and learn from them. But at the moment, she just wants to run in too fast, and she wants to go too fast, and she would just run in ahead of the other dogs, and she wouldn't really learn from them. So partly the reason we're using this is it's a more controlled setup, a more controlled environment. So she can't get into the sheep can't get out at her. The way that a round pen is set up, the sheep will run around the circumference of the pen. I would have liked the pen to be bigger, but this was all the net that I have today. We'll try and make a bigger one, hopefully. But yeah, because it's got no because it has no 90-degree corners, the sheep won't get stuck in the corners. They'll just keep moving around, and copper will keep moving around the outside. So the idea, or what I want to do today, is basically I want to let copper run off that energy first. I'm going to let her go crazy and get that out of her system, and then I'm going to start trying to train in that lie down and stuff like that again. Now, A lot of people had a lot of suggestions about training her and the way that I should be training her. The big thing we have to remember is a puppy at this point, it's fallen in love with herding, and that's the whole idea. It is here for its instincts to come out, for it to fall in love, and it should be fun. So if we go too hard in training at this point, we'll just put the dog off. We're really going at the dog's pace. The problem is she wants to go really fast and not really listen too much. So we're going to have to use a more controlled environment. But let's just get into it and we'll see what's happening. That's enough of me yabbering on. One quick thing to add. The other thing that the round pen will train is Copper tends to go straight. She does try and come round sheep, but she tends to go straight first, to run straight at them. And by that point, they've splintered out. So it's really hard for her to control the whole herd and then sheep split off. The round pen should speed up in her brain the idea that going round sheep and moving in arcs will give her better control of them, and that's something the round pen should really teach her without me having to put too much input in that. Now let's get on with it. Shh. Come on, here. Come on this way. Here, here. You're not sure about this setup? Go on, go on, here, go on. This is what we want here. Her going round. She's a little upset that she can't really get to them, but it should teach her to go round. Darling. Here, good girl. Here. I've got the stick here. I meant to get my own shirt. She's doing quite well. She's actually doing fairly well with the lie down here, which is surprising. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get in with these sheep and I'm going to move them around a bit more because they're being a bit stubborn this morning. And I think I'll get better results if I'm helping to move those sheep and watching her from the outside, from the inside, watching her on the outside. Come on. Yeah. We're going that way. See, this is better. Come by. Oh, I'm giving commands. I'm not even meaning to. Go on. We might as well. See if I can turn her, go the other way. So I'm just using my stick here to create a barrier for these sheep to lie down. Here, copper. Steady. Tail position's better here. Look at that tail position, much lower. See that, how she's running with the tail even? That's more like a relaxed brain, and that's what we want when we're training, is that more relaxed brain rather than the happy-go-lucky. So the tail up in the air, wagging about, happy-go-lucky. When the tail is flat, level, or even hanging slightly, that's generally more of a calm brain. Shh. Good girl. Lie down. Come on. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Good girl. Lie down. Lie down. Good girl. Go on. It's overexcitement. Lie down. But, you know what? Being outside the pen is actually causing a little bit of frustration. So we're going to head and we're going to do something which is slightly more risky, but doing it controlled. Hopefully we will manage it pretty well, but we're going to have Copper inside the pen and see how that goes as well. Okay. Right, lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Okay. Right, lie down, lie down, lie down, lie down. Okay. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Hey, no. That'll do. Good girl. Steady. Steady. Yeah, no. That'll do. So we see there we ended up having quite a successful session, even with Copper inside the round pen. Now, being inside the round pen with the dog can be a little bit more dangerous, just because obviously those sheep are in there with the dog. They could feel trapped and they could end up going for the dog. So that's why it's important that I'm in there with the stick. And you'll see I can use the stick to both move the sheep on and help the dog move the sheep around. And I can also use it to control the pace of the dog by dragging that stick behind a little bit, and that lets the dog that it should stay behind the stick. And then I can also use the stick as a barrier when I want that lie down. So instead of like a lead or something like that, or over commanding, I can use that as a barrier and keep that stick out until the dog does what I want, and then I can take it away again. But yeah, the stick is quite important for the safety of the sheep and the dog in that situation, because I can control the pace of the dog, I can control the pace of the sheep, and I can use it as a barrier to protect the dog or protect the sheep. But anyway guys, that'll do for this video. Tell me in the comments what you thought of today's session. We'll probably continue this session now for a few weeks until we get to a point where I'm more confident with the control that I have with Copper. And remember guys, if you want to support the channel, the best way possible is by joining the members club. But if you can't do that, please just remember to like, comment and subscribe.